Hi, it's Courtney from Ruby Red Farm. I'm sure by now you figured out that we prefer to pasture raise our chickens. Why do we do that and what are the pros and cons? Let's talk it over. One of the main reasons that we choose to pasture raise our laying hens is that they get so much better nutrition. With that better nutrition comes much better tasting eggs, and that's what our customers keep coming back for more of. Another benefit with pasture raising our chickens is that it is a little bit safer than true free ranging. With free ranging, you have to worry about every predator there ever was. With pasture raising the birds, you have that netting for protection. Really the only one we worry about is a hawk at our house. One of the other pros when it comes to pasture raising chickens is that they get a lot more cognitive engagement. I'm sure you've seen the advertisements for chicken toys, and while those are a blast, they do cost money. Pasture raising your hens means that they're going to get that cognitive engagement without you spending a dime. Another pro for pasture raising is that compared to having a standard chicken coop, you're going to end up with a lot cleaner of an area. When they're out in the field, you don't get that big buildup of manure, you're not dealing with a giant mud hole, and you're not having to slosh back and forth through that mess every day like you do with a standard chicken coop. We love pasture raising our hens for the fact that it's so much cleaner. Along the same lines as the cleaner coop is the fact that because of the netting, you get to choose where that manure goes. So with free ranging hens, the manure in a lot of cases ends up nothing wet all over your porch. With pasture raising and with that netting, you get to do a lot more of a concentrated manure hit. It really improves the soil health, and you get to then move them at your own speed. We move ours about every 2 weeks, and we found that that really gets just the right amount of manure to lead to a much healthier hayfield for us. When you think about having that cleaner coop area, another pro is that you end up with healthier birds. We do have losses, don't get me wrong, but we don't lose nearly as many as some of our friends report are living with those standard coops. I have a friend down the road who unfortunately has lost almost all of her hens at this point to unknown illnesses. We'd have that happen a lot less often here, and I think that outdoor pasture-raised setting is a big part of that. One of the other unexpected pros when it comes to pasture raising our hens is that we end up getting free advertising. I can't tell you how many different people have stopped in simply because they see our chickens. If your hens are cooped up, no pun intended, right in your backyard where only you can see them, a lot of people driving by will have no idea you even sell eggs. We get a lot of free advertising simply by moving that chicken tractor up by the road through the summer. Now, before I move on and start talking about the cons of pasture raising your chickens, one last major benefit is it lets you get more chickens. So we all joke that we just would buy as many as we can, right? Well, I kind of got to, and it's because we pasture raise them. When they're out and about, you are able to give them so much more space than you ever could with a stationary coop. And at the end of the day, if you're a chicken person like me, that's what we all want, is more birds. Now, we've always promised we would be honest with you guys when it comes to life here on the farm. So let's go over a few of the cons that we've come across when it comes to pasture raising your hens. Probably the two biggest downsides that we've come across so far are the fact that you're having to carry food out to the location and the fact that you're having to carry water out to the location. Now, we purposely position it in a way that we can take a hose out the majority of the year, but there comes a point when it's just too cold or they're just too far away that we do unfortunately have to take water out in a bucket. Now, it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely a con compared to having a stationary coop. One of the other cons is that it takes a lot more labor to move these chickens. So you're spending a lot more energy and a lot more time moving the birds. That's something that, again, you really wouldn't have to deal with a stationary coop. But for us, we, again, really do think it's worth it. One of the other cons when it comes to a chicken tractor is that there is a slightly higher risk when it comes to predators. It's not a huge risk for us. Thankfully, we only really deal with hawks, like I mentioned earlier. However, you are going to deal with larger predators such as a coyote, for example, that you wouldn't have to deal with nearly as much with a stationary coop. Another con when it comes to raising chickens out on pasture is that now you are going to be having to move a lot further to do those chores. If I were, say, raising chickens 20 feet from my back door, that's only 20 feet that I've got to go out to get the eggs and to check on my flock. Right now I'm having to walk, about a quarter mile to go and check on my birds. I personally love the outside time and I love getting all of those steps, so we don't mind, but if mobility is a problem for you, know that a chicken tractor might not be quite the right choice. The final con when it comes to having chickens with a chicken tractor is a very real wall for a lot of people. That is the fact that you do have to have some equipment. In our case, we primarily use our four-wheeler. Now, we have used the truck before when we've gotten things really stuck, but if not having a tractor, not having a four-wheeler is a big obstacle for you, then again, a chicken tractor may not be your best choice. And that's it, folks. So I hope this was helpful just to kind of tease out if you're on the fence about getting a chicken tractor or starting this pasture-raised chicken lifestyle. We personally think it is more than worth it. Weighing out those pros and cons, the pros for us way outweigh the cons. I hope you came to that decision too. Leave a comment below if you can think of anything else that comes to mind. In the meantime though, this was Courtney from Ruby Red Farm, and I hope you all have a great day.